Could a white man beat a black man who was bigger, stronger, faster, and a better fighter?
Dillon! You son of a bitch!
Of course. But then they see a guy my size, and right away they figure, well, this guy's got to be a bad guy because he's big.
Right.
He can't be a sensitive guy. He can't be a gentle guy. He can't be. He can't smile.
Right.
You know, he has to give a grimace.
Well, the whole John Wayne syndrome.
That syndrome. Right.
Carl Weathers was not the kind of actor who had to beg for attention. From Apollo Creed staring down Rocky, to Dillon standing beside Arnold in Predator, to Action Jackson finally putting him at the center of his own action movie, Carl had the kind of presence Hollywood loved to use, but never fully knew how to honor.
Ah, Mando! They all hate you, Mando.
Behind the confidence, the body, the voice, and that fearless screen presence was a man who kept getting underestimated. So what really happened with this man's career? And what did Hollywood take from him that it never gave back? Let's get into it. Carl Weathers was born in New Orleans in 1948, and from the jump, this was not a man who did things halfway. By high school, he was on an athletic scholarship at St. Augustine and competing in boxing, football, gymnastics, judo, soccer, and wrestling. That is a person who has been trying to figure out exactly how far his body can take him since he was a teenager. He moved on to Long Beach City College for football. And before his career even got started, he tripped over a concrete curb on the running track during warm-ups and injured his ankle badly enough to lose his entire first season, but he had to find a way to keep going anyway. He transferred to San Diego State after that, became a defensive end for the Aztecs, built the kind of physical and aggressive presence on the defensive front that quarterbacks had nightmares about, helped take the team to a dominant win in the 1969 Pasadena Bowl. By this point, the NFL was not some distant dream anymore, and then came 1970. Carl Weathers was not drafted. Every single team passed, and I need you to really sit with what that means. You spend years building your body, you earn a scholarship, you make it to a Division I program, you win a bowl game, you do everything right, and when the draft comes, you hear nothing. I mean, that is the kind of rejection that changes people. But Carl signed with the Oakland Raiders as an undrafted free agent anyway. The Raiders in that era were not known for being gentle, so even getting through the door said something about him. He played 7 games his first season. The team won their division. Things looked like they might work out. And then 1971 came. He appeared in 1 game, and Raiders head coach John Madden cut him from the roster. Guess the reason Madden gave him. He told Carl he was too sensitive to play professional football. 6'2", 220 pounds, trained in boxing and judo and wrestling since high school, was too sensitive? Now, I don't know exactly what Madden saw, but I do know when someone with that kind of physical presence gets told he is too sensitive, what they're usually really saying is that he has more going on inside than the role they're offering him can hold. And I want y'all to take note because Hollywood was going to repeat a version of it for the next 30 years. Carl went north to the Canadian Football League after that, played linebacker for the British Columbia Lions, got in his games, and by 1973, he was done with professional football for good. He had a theater degree from San Diego State, but no acting credits worth mentioning. The first few years of Carl's acting career were rough in the way that most people in Hollywood never talk about, honestly. He was picking up bit parts, uncredited roles, small appearances in low-budget blaxploitation films like Bucktown and Friday Foster. He showed up briefly in TV shows like Good Times, Kung Fu, Cannon, and Starsky and Hutch. Hollywood wasn't acknowledging him yet, though. They basically just gave him roles where he'll bring in his muscles, scare someone, and disappear.
As a matter of fact, before Rocky won, I had difficulty getting the job because I hadn't been a boxer, so I had to, I'll put it this way, I had to create stories. I had to create a background for Carl Weathers as a boxer. In effect, I had to lie. And that's how I managed to get the job.
I mean, he studied theater, but they weren't seeing him as an actor yet. More like a glorified bouncer.
Carl, our society seems to resist a big guy like you wanting to be an actor.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
You know, there aren't many people who recognize that, I guess, because we all affected by the guys who appear to be actually larger than they are in real life. Guys who, I mean, really are fine actors and fine talents. Paul Newman, Robert Redford, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. Most of these people in stature anyway are very small.
Right,
you know? Incredible talents, of course.
Of course.
But then they see a guy my size and right away they figure, well, this guy's got to be a bad guy because he's big.
Right.
He can't be a sensitive guy. He can't be a gentle guy. He can't
Right.
he can't smile.
Right.
You know, he has to give a grimace. you
Well, the
know?
whole John Wayne syndrome.
That syndrome,
And, you
right.
know, all the big guys, they all
Absolutely.
had that silly,
Absolutely.
macho baloney.
Well, up until the mid-70s, a script is going around for a movie called Rocky, written by and starring some guy named Sylvester Stallone. The character being cast opposite Stallone is a heavyweight boxing champion named Apollo Creed. Carl goes in to read. But when he gets there is nobody available to read the scene with him. So they put Stallone across the table, and Carl does not know who Stallone is. He does not realize this is the writer and the star sitting in front of him. So when the read feels flat and the room gets awkward and quiet, Carl tells the producers he thinks he could do better if they gave him a real actor to work with.
And then he goes, I would have done better if you at least hired a real actor instead of, what's this guy do, work in the office? I go, no, he's Rocky. It was, all right, how you doing, Rocky?
The complete and absolute nerve. But that confidence was exactly what Apollo Creed needed to be. That energy told them everything before he had even finished the audition. Stallone later said the role needed athleticism, brains, spirit, talent, and speed. And the man who accidentally insulted him in the audition had all five. So Carl got the role.
I couldn't find anyone to play the part. No one had all the tools. Either their voice was too high, or they weren't big enough, or they weren't athletic enough. It's really hard to find everything in a person. So it was about 8 o'clock at night, and the guy I wanted said he quit because he wants to go in a bicycle race competition. I went, really? So obviously he was not a serious actor.
Yeah.
He was a physical type. So I'm sitting there, and at 8:30, this fella comes in, and he's mad. Like, what am I here for? I mean, because no one gets, like, you don't have an audition at 8:30 at night. You're like at the bottom of the barrel. You know what I mean?
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's like
I didn't know
noon,
that.
lunch.
Okay.
It's like 8:30. So he comes in. They pulled him off a plane going to Oakland. So he's coming in, and he's fired up. All right, what do I do? I go, voice good. Voice is good. Go check that. He goes, and he takes his jacket off. Shoulders, forever.
Check.
Check. And then he looked. I went, good looking. You know,
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't expect that, you know, because he's a boxer.
Tough.
And then we Then we started to get up. I'm telling you. And he goes, pow, pow, pow. I was, damn. It's like a woodpecker hit me.
And just like that, the whole thing changed. Rocky came out in 1976. And Carl Weathers was not in the background of that movie. He was the reason the movie had stakes.
I heard that you said Rocky couldn't have existed without Carl Weathers,
No,
right?
you know, first of all, Rocky's I know.
Look at that photo, it's so iconic. Wow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was amazing.
And here is what I want people to understand about that performance, because I don't think it gets the credit it actually deserves. But Carl did not play Apollo like a character. He played him like a man who had never once in his life walked into a room and wondered whether he belonged there. And the best part is Carl didn't have to fake it. He had already lived a version of it. I mean, he was the man who wasn't drafted and still showed up to the Raiders, and audiences felt it. You were supposed to root for Rocky, but Apollo made you nervous in a type of way. Rocky II came out in 1979, and Carl turned up the temperature in a way that was genuinely interesting. Now he was embarrassed and obsessed. He needed this rematch the way people need things when their ego has been cracked. Carl made that obsession feel genuinely unnerving.
Successful.
Is it going to be Rocky III?
Joe, you're incredible. How did that just slip right out of there? It looks like there might be. It looks like there might be. Sly and Irwin Winkler, Bob Chardoff have made statements relating to the fact that Rocky III looks inevitable. So I'm looking forward to it if it does happen and if it's a good script.
You're all going to make a career out of Rocky movies.
Well,
Like
it
Andy
wouldn't
Rooney,
be a bad way to go if
No, I
in
guess
fact it
not.
was good and people liked what we were doing.
You're not.
Clint Eastwood isn't doing bad. Some of the other people aren't doing bad. The James Bond things aren't doing bad.
You're right. You got a career all set out.
There you go. Let's hope so.
Carl Weathers, thanks very much for being with us.
Then Rocky III came in 1982 and did something that I think nobody gives enough credit for. It turned Apollo from rival to mentor.
Damn, man, what the hell are you doing? This guy will knock you on your ass. Come on, Rock, it's not a game. You want to live in the hospital for 5 weeks this time? You thought I was tough? This jump will kill you.
And normally when a feared rival becomes the hero's guide, they get softened into someone warm and supportive and completely unrecognizable from what made them compelling in the first place. But Carl kept Apollo's authority untouched. He was not warming up to Rocky. He was commanding Rocky to stop lying to himself. Rocky IV in 1985 is where Carl's run as Apollo comes to an end. And on screen, the way he performed Apollo's final fight against Ivan Drago, played by Dolph Lundgren, was so physically convincing that the medical personnel on set genuinely believed he had been hurt. That scene works entirely because of what Carl had built across 3 films.
Well, you know, some folks got to learn the hard way.
So no quick knockout prediction.
No, I'm not angry with him. See, I just want to show the whole world that Russia doesn't have all the best athletes.
But behind the cameras, there are stories from that production that have circulated for decades. The version that spread was that Lundgren got too rough during filming, physically picked Carl up, and threw him hard into the corner of the boxing ring. And that Carl went off. And that production shut down for days until the situation cooled. Now, Carl himself later pushed back on some of the more dramatic details of this story and said those kinds of things tend to get stretched over time in Hollywood. However, the thing is, the only reason people easily believed that story was because it matched the image Carl had built for himself. People don't see Carl as someone who would get dissed and ignore it. It just doesn't suit his aura. The resume kept expanding. 1987, Predator. And this cast was not a group of delicate people. I'm talking Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jesse Ventura, Sonny Landham, Bill Duke. If you ask me, that was a gym disguised as a movie set. And for Carl Weathers to step into that environment and command respect, that says everything. He played Dillon. And what makes Dillon interesting is that he is not the biggest presence in the movie physically. I mean, Arnold is right there. But Carl still carries this quality where you feel like he is operating on a completely different frequency from everyone else in the scene. The smile does not fully relax you. And then there is the handshake.
Dillon! You son of a bitch!
Everybody remembers the arms. But the reason that moment works is not the muscles. It is the history underneath it. 2 men greeting each other with the physical language of a competition that has never officially ended. The screen presence was everything. Action Jackson came along in 1988. And this is where Carl's story starts saying something uncomfortable that Hollywood was not going to say for itself.
Now you pissed me off.
This movie should have been the launch. We're talking 4 Rocky films. Predator, now leading his own action franchise as Detroit Police Sergeant Jericho Jackson. And Carl delivered everything the movie asked him to deliver. He had the confidence, the dry humor. He ran up the hood of a moving car and flipped off it and made it look almost casual. He was the full package. But Hollywood didn't deliver as it did with his peers. And I need you to actually think about that. Because when you line up what Carl Weathers brought to the table against what Hollywood gave him back in terms of infrastructure and investment, something does not add up. He could steal scenes from Stallone. He could stand next to Arnold and not disappear. He could carry his own film, and he was still being treated like a support beam rather than the building. And to be honest, when we talk about what Hollywood was willing to do for a Black actor in 1988 with a body like his and a presence like his, the ceiling he kept hitting had a very specific shape. The industry could see the intimidation, it could see the physical power, but it wasn't willing to give him more. Fast forward to 1996, Carl plays Chubbs Peterson in Happy Gilmore, and this role was so good in a way that had nothing to do with the film's plot. Chubbs was warm, funny, slightly ridiculous. He gave the movie real heart. He proved that Carl could steal scenes without physically dominating anything, that the charm and the timing he had been carrying his whole career could work just as well in a completely different register. But behind the comedy, something serious happened that Carl did not make a big public deal out of.
So you're a hockey player, huh?
Yeah?
You're gonna give that shit up? You're gonna concentrate on golf?
Who the hell are you?
I'm the club pro here, Chubbs Peterson. And I'm offering to teach you how to play golf personally. For free.
No.
You have no idea who I am, do you?
No, I don't.
Back in 1965, Sports Illustrated said I was going to be the next Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, what happened?
They wouldn't let me play on the pro tour anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because you're black?
Hell no. Damn alligator bit my hand off.
Oh, my God!
Yeah, tournament down in Florida.
There was a stunt where he was supposed to fall backward onto safety bags. The bags were not pushed fully against the wall. His body got trapped, and his spine took the impact directly. He felt it immediately, and what did he do? He kept working. He was an athlete. The mindset was push through it. Stopping felt like the wrong move. Years later, medical examinations confirmed he had fractured 2 vertebrae during that fall. The injury caused osteophytes to grow and fuse his spine in a painful way that left him dealing with serious, debilitating pain for years afterward. And the man didn't even show it in his acting. It's now 2006, and Sylvester Stallone is making Rocky Balboa. He wants to use archival footage of Carl as Apollo Creed in the film. Carl said no. Some people read that as ego, but I don't, because by 2006, Apollo Creed was not just one of Carl Weathers' roles. Apollo was the reason Rocky became the emotional institution it turned into. That franchise's whole legacy runs directly through what Carl built across 4 films, and Carl knew exactly what his image was worth. He knew that once you let a machine recycle your likeness without your active participation, you start becoming a memory before you are done being an artist. So he said, if you want Apollo in this film, put me in the film, not just old footage of me. At the end of the day, they did not end up using him. And it created a personal estrangement between Carl and Stallone that lasted years. Call that petty if you want, but that's a man who knows his worth. And then 2019 happened. And Carl Weathers joined the cast of The Mandalorian as Greef Karga, the head of the Bounty Hunter Guild. And a whole new generation of fans met him for the first time.
Ah, Mando! They all hate you, Mando. Mando. Oh.
And here's the thing about those scenes. Carl was in his 70s. He was not doing the Rocky combinations or running up car hoods. But that authority, that specific quality he had always carried where the room adjusted itself when he walked into it, was still completely there. His scenes were screaming aura. Fun fact, he also directed episodes of the show. Now that reminded people that he was never just the body in front of the camera. He had a creative intelligence that understood performance and storytelling from both sides of the lens, and the industry was finally seeing this. It just took 40 years to get there. Carl Weathers passed away on February 1st, 2024, in Venice, California. He was 76. The cause was atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. And when the tributes came in from Stallone and Arnold and Adam Sandler and everyone else, they were genuine.
Stunned when it happened. I was like crushed. I didn't think he would ever die. You know, he's like Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I look back now with fond memories, because it's never going to happen. You know when you have those seminal moments, those crossroads? It's like
certain chemistry on certain things,
It's impossible to duplicate.
Yeah.
But here is what I keep coming back to. Carl Weathers spent his entire career giving Hollywood exactly what it asked for. He gave them power, danger, confidence. He gave them the voice and the walk and that specific quality where the second he appeared in a scene, the scene became about him without him trying to make it so. He gave them his body, his pride, his physical credibility, and eventually his image. He fractured his spine on a set and kept working. He built one of the most beloved characters in film franchise history and had to fight to maintain any say over how that character was used. He should have had more leading roles after Action Jackson. He should have been seen earlier as a director, as a dramatic actor, as a comedic lead, as more than just the body that could sell impact. And yes, he still became iconic. Two things can be true at once. Carl Weathers was celebrated, and he was still underused. He became a legend, but Hollywood still did not give him everything he deserved. And the fact that it took a Star Wars streaming show in his 70s for the industry to finally give him a role where he got to age with actual power says everything about what Hollywood cost this man over the years he was giving them his best work. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Did Hollywood give Carl Weathers his flowers while he was here, or did it only understand what it had once he was gone? Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.